is up? Mortgage Marketing Radio podcast listeners, family. It has been a long time since I have gone live and done a live stream. So wherever you're tuning in from, if you are watching right now, please type in where you're watching this from. I would love to know, and I would love to take your questions today. So take a moment, type that in. We're going to get started in just a second. Be back as soon as this is done. Hey, we're back. All right. So once again, if you are watching this live, let me know where you're tuning in from. We're going live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook podcast group for you podcast listeners. Shout out to you on the Facebook page itself. The only place we're not live, shockingly enough, is Instagram. And we're going to be talking about Instagram. So I know some of y'all are like, hey, how come you ain't going live on Instagram? Well, that just comes to a different conversation about platforms and tools you're using to go live. So bear with me here as I might be a tad rusty in going live. What's up, Kenny from Tampa? Whoever's in Plano, let me know who you are. I can't see what your name is. Emily in Minneapolis. Glenn, what's up, man? Boise, shout out. Somebody from Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. All right. So glad you guys are here. I promised you I'd be going live more often through the month of December here, because I want to get back to it. And this is like exercising a muscle, right? Going live, doing social media and stuff. You got to get fit, right, with social media. And the best way to do that is just do the reps. So also, by the way, for those who don't know yet or need a reminder, hey, if you haven't got the free book, makes a good Christmas gift, right? Survive and Thrive, the Digital Real Estate Shift, Disrupt or Die, latest book. And you can get it for free at getdisruptordie.com. Just pay shipping. Okay, so how's that enough for commercial? By the way, behind the scenes, that's called buying time, to allow time for the audience to come on in, all right? So as you know, we're here today. The title of our live stream today is How to Get Loans from Instagram. Let me bring on our special guest, Mr. Min Nguyen. Welcome. Woo! You know what? You deserve one of these. Hold on.
Wow, I feel good.
All right, you deserve a James Brown. So, man, I know you're a busy guy. We were talking just before we went live. I've been following you for some time. And when I posted this live, I had a fair amount of people text me back and just go, dude, his content's awesome. He's amazing. So great. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of people that are thrilled to have you here. Thanks for being here. Yeah, you bet. So for those who aren't sure who you are, why don't you give us your quick little background? We're going to unpack the Instagram stuff and content, but give it a quick bio on Min.
Well, my name is Min Nguyen. I live out in California. I've been doing mortgages since 2003. I've been on this social media journey since 2017. I spend most of my days doing content now, and we do have a team of LOs that do work on the viewers. I call them not leads, viewers that reach out and ask for information.
Now, what I love about you is like you're transparent as hell from what I can tell, which is great because you're not trying to paint just right now. You're like, hey, man, I have a team and you are now the rainmaker generating content because that's obviously paid off for you.
Correct.
Why do you call them viewers?
Because if you call them viewers, then when you talk to them, you treat them like viewers and not a lead.
So you think there's a different psychology or feeling when it comes to lead versus viewer?
Absolutely. Imagine if you love your child, right? Yeah. If your child made a mistake, how much more patient do you have on your child compared to that other kid who's screaming and they're not your child?
Right. That's true. It's similar to a lot of people say, instead of how many units did you close, how many families did you help in a given year, right? So words matter. So also let's set the stage for where you're at 2021 year to date, volume and units, and then we'll unpack all this.
So in 2021, I left Loan Depot in the month of June. We were pacing at 20 million fundings a month up until June. And then we tried another place, didn't work out well. And now we're at this place called Western Express. And we're on pace. We're in the 20 million. I think starting January, I think we have enough apps to hit that 30 million mark. Wow. And just a lot of purchase apps as more inventory slowly opens up. We're able to get more in escrow because we're 75% purchase, 25% refinance.
75% purchase. That's awesome. Very strong. All right. Now here's the big question of the day that I know everybody wants to know. Of that 20 million a month that you're running, your run rate, what percentage of that is coming from social media?
100%. I do not have a single deal coming in from non-social media. So they come in two ways. One way, of course, we generate the lead through social, and it goes to the realtor. but the realtor brings us deal back. So we hand out a lot of leads to a lot of realtors. We give out more leads to realtors than they give us leads. But when they give us leads, those numbers are blended with it as well.
Okay, got it. And are you also using social media to get new realtor relationships?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Are they coming to you?
They're coming to me, or I cherry pick them. I hand pick them. I comb through the internet. I troll the internet, and I find out who's doing what. Most of the ones that are doing well, they're not going to respond back right away. I normally will look for who works under them, because normally they'll take a big photo. They'll have that one person that's like in their photo that they tag their face of. I'll message that person, because that person will get me to the person on top. Because they watch me, or they'll fan out, or they'll watch, and they'll be more open because they want business. Right.
Absolutely. All right. So people are curious, I'm sure, as am I anyways, is like, you've been at this for a while. You're clearly, you like engineer your social media, I guess, is you think about it a lot. You think about it from a strategic standpoint. I'm guessing at this point, you're not just throwing stuff against the wall, or maybe you are, or like, do you have an overall strategy to your approach on social?
Oh, yes. I have an overall strategy. I changed my strategy a lot as I've evolved. So we are more efficient with our content than compared to just doing a lot of throwing stuff against the wall and making it work. I'm very strategic. I index my audience, and after I index them, I pretty much categorize them. Then I know the content to make to get that audience.
So explain that a little bit. What do you mean you index them?
So I look at them and buying, probably looking for a better lender, about to pull the trigger. They're still building credit and saving money for down payment.
Those are two different groups.
3 different groups. Yeah. So if they're a shopper, then I approach them differently. If they're ready to go, they just need that final piece of information to unlock the magic door, or they're in the beginning stages.
And so you mentioned earlier, before we went live, you have a process for, the life of a lead. Can you explain a little bit of that?
So when a lead does come over, they normally message over. So I only do messenger leads, because you can message back. So on YouTube and TikTok, when they ask you a question, you can't directly ask them something.
Right.
You can directly ask them something through Instagram or Facebook, because they messaged you.
Right.
So I will only deal leads where I can deal with Messenger. Think about this. Who do you talk to on the phone typically? A bill collector. You're buying or selling something. Psychologically, you talk to a friend through DM. You talk to a friend through text message, correct? So that's how I make sure that we generate leads that only incubate through text messaging and messaging. Or text messaging, DMing.
Okay, so you obviously put a lot of content out on Instagram. We're going to show a couple of your pages in a moment. But people are engaging, interacting with your content. You're doing a lot of educational content. So what'll happen is somebody will DM you something, a question or whatever. Is that usually what it sounds like?
Correct.
Okay. All right.
And so what we do is we in the beginning, I just made a bunch of content, and I find out which content is performing the best with the size of my audience. So some of you guys are like, well, I don't have a size of an audience. I can't do this. I can't do that. With the size of the audience you have, your friends and family, your neighbors, your kids' school, whatever your audience size is, put out content, and you'll find out which content is the most engaging and which ones are not the most engaging. And through that, you repurpose it. Or through that, when you fund a couple deals, run a campaign, do paid advertising, let your information now see if that content is good. Let it circulate through the internet. Right.
Yeah. I want to come back to the content. We're going to dig into content for sure in a second. But let's say I'm a lead. I've been watching your videos for 3 months or whatever. I'm digging it. Right. And all of a sudden I get into a DM conversation with you where I'm like the guy who's ready to, all right, I need to take the next step. What do you do then? Do you just like send them a link to your online app, or what happens there? You got a team, right?
Yeah, I got a team. So we normally send them a text message. We get them off Messenger. So you can get them off of the platform first. When you get them on the platform, you want their phone number and email. You need an email and a phone number so you can put them through. Some CRMs, you need an email and a phone number. Some of them, you only need one piece of information. Yep. And so we get them off the platform right away. We message them. I let them know, hey, Jeff, this is Min. Thank you so much for reaching out. I'm going to have Grant from Western Express reach out to you. And then here's Grant's phone number. So you recognize it when he calls you. He's on my team. He's going to do his best to help you. And then 2 days after that, hey, Jeff, this is me. And just want to follow how everything went with Jeff. I mean, with Grant.
Yep.
Is there anything? So normally if they are engaging, that lead is moving forward. If they're not engaging, hey, Jeff, this is Min. I know you didn't, you reached out to us. Here's my ultimate mortgage guide. Check it out. Let me know how it goes. Hey, Jeff, how did that guide go? Is there anything you don't understand? If they answer back, boom, I'm getting them on the phone. Hey, so-and-so needs to call them, because if you want, it's like catching fish, right? You throw out a bunch of bait. If the line's not pulling, don't yank it up. You know what happens when you yank it up? You're not going to catch anything. And you're going to burn your energy just yanking it up. So you just want to tug. The more lines you have out, the more tugging. And don't forget, they reached out. So I have their real phone number and their real email. So we're not, it's not some fake phone number, fake email, and we're just tugging.
Right.
When we're tugging, we're adding value, right? We're adding value. We keep adding value. If you add enough value, do have a lot of people who do reach out and they ghost us for like 2 weeks, which tells me we created Inception. They loved it, but they got scared, or their neighbor was a loan officer or realtor, or their coworker knew their cousin. Like, I have a cousin, you got to call my cousin, and it doesn't work out with them. Those are the best leads. If they message you and you don't hear from them for another 2 weeks, you're closing that one. Because someone else did them so dirty that they had to humble themselves to come back to talk to you. How shaming is that, right? Have you ever done that? Or like, now you have to come back. That's
real market data right there, people. I love that. That's actually what happens in the real world. They go dark because they're too ashamed. And then they come back with their tail between their legs. Oh, you were right, man. I'm curious. I'm a big database guy. I love that. I believe you should be building your database off of these platforms as well, because you don't own the platforms. So give me a sense of like, how's that looking of the emails or addresses that you are taking off the platforms into your own CRM? Is it in the hundreds? Is it in the thousands now?
It's in the thousands. I think we have, I don't even know, because I have someone else on my team that manages all that, but it's a lot. I know right now we're averaging about 60 live transfers a day.
Wow.
Yeah, 60 live transfers a day.
Okay, so just to clarify, because you shared with me earlier, not all of that's coming from your organic content. Some of that's from paid ads, right?
From paid ads. So anything that comes off of Instagram, right? We just turn on Instagram ads. Anything that comes from Instagram is organic. Anything that comes from Facebook is paid advertising.
Wow. Anything that comes from Instagram is organic.
And we're about a 35% blend on Instagram right now. And Instagram has a higher pull-through ratio. Yeah. People from Instagram, they have more, they trust the internet more. They trust buying through social. Facebook, they're a little bit older. They're more established, higher qualified borrowers, but they're still a little old school, right? Yeah. Sometimes they want to come to your office. They want to do a Zoom call. They want to Zoom with their cousin. They're just zoom everywhere. But Instagram, if they reach through, they're going to app through it. They're going to, if you are a digital person, they will do that app online. They trust the internet more. You have a higher chance of closing someone on Instagram. I feel right now, I'm sure it's going to be even higher on TikTok than on Facebook. But the Facebook right now, of course, time will change, have a higher quality lead or higher quality viewer.
Are you finding is the majority of folks from Instagram tend to be first timers?
No. Either really first timers or they just got a good amount of money and they're just hitting the internet. There's no, it's either really early or they're a first timer, but they're making 200 grand a year. They're not that first timer making 60, 80, 90. They're either making in California, they're either making 60, 70 as a first timer or they're making 200. Yeah. There's no in between on Instagram for us.
Yeah. Well, like you said earlier, you specialize in California. We're going to have higher incomes, obviously average higher loan amounts, all that stuff. Okay. So let me do this. If I can just share, I'm going to try and share a couple of, let's see here. Screen sharing, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. It's been a while. So here we go. Share screen.
Take your time, brother.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find the right tab here. Here we go. Let me share. Let's go to your, let's see here. Let me check the remote view. For everybody who's watching in the audience, let me know you can see this. But I am hopefully sharing your Instagram page. And so we're seeing you get about 34,000 followers. And what I wanted to share this with is your content. Your content, while though it's humorous and engaging, and I'm sure that's part of the reason why people follow you, it's also highly educational. I've talked to a few other LOs that used to do lifestyle content and stuff like that. Did you ever mess around with that, or what have you learned about content that resonates?
I sprinkle in lifestyle.
Okay.
Because when people do a lot of that's, you look at women, they do a lot, not all women, but a lot of women, unless you're like selling a product, it's just, they're just like, who are you? What makes you special compared that I'm not that special, where they care about looking at your life, right? I think a lot of people have that. They come to a mortgage site or a real estate site or a tax site to learn about that, not 90% of what you're having for lunch. They're not concerned with like this one right here, right? So this one was a funny one. I just followed the trend. So this is a lifestyle one that I had my family in.
Love it. Love it. Okay. So speaking of following trends, that's something that, let me go back. That's something that I've recently come across in terms of, let me stop. There we go. Are you finding following trends is helping you reach more people?
Yes. Trends right now, you ride the algorithm. You just got to ride the right algorithm. I'll tell you right now, organically, the reason why I grew so much on Instagram and our lead flow is where it's at. And the reason why I joined Western Express, because I'm licensed in California. They're a small direct lender, which gives me less red tape than at my prior company. But they're licensed in a lot of small lenders aren't licensed in a lot of states. They are. Yeah. When people do come through, I have a higher chance of converting them. And I needed that doing more organic because Reels and TikTok have further reaches than on Reels and TikTok.
So I think you could probably do a better job of me briefly explaining to people, what does that mean when we say following a trend?
So following the trend is something that's viral. Like right now, everyone has that little dance of that little girl that goes, that little girl and that yellow donut. So I did that video where I'm trying to buy a house in California. You need to go viral. So I did the same trend. So that's the trend is something that's spread out through the internet through sharing. And if you ride that trend, you will travel through the internet with these other people.
Yeah, it's basically, like you said, piggybacking off the algorithm. For instance, on TikTok, right? The trends down the bottom right, whatever that musical trend is, if you use that same audio, oftentimes in your audio clip that's trending, that'll help you show up better. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Also at the same time, I'd be curious to hear when you made the shift over, you said it was 2017 you got on social, right?
Correct.
So I'm sure you've heard and seen this before. It just sounds like, how can people make this? There's a lot to learn. You know what I mean? Right? Like we're talking trends and algorithms and this and that. And it's not as simple as, because on the outside, here's the perception maybe I think some people have. And I'd love to hear the comments from the people right now. Type it in. What's your biggest challenge right now with social? But the perception is, oh, you just post a bunch of funny videos and you're going to get some leads.
Nah, I wish that was the case. Because sometimes I'll watch them like, dude, I'm funny, but then I don't get as much reach as someone where I watch their video like, are you kidding me? And it went like million views, so it's not that easy.
So is there a formula? And it's different, by the way. This is also, I think, smart to say. Your success formula isn't going to be the same as somebody else's.
Correct. Everyone has a different style, and that style is going to follow them into what they're doing. But as your style allows you to grow, that's where you start implementing information, whatever your craft is, mortgage, real estate, flipping, wholesaling, whatever course you're selling, implement it in your humor or in your style.
Yeah. And I think, and by the way, but for everybody putting in the comments, thank you. I see Kenny, he answered the question, what to post that gets interaction. Let's pause there for a second. I'd be curious, because it sounds like you're saying this underneath your response, which is that's part of the reason why you have to be consistent in just posting is because you'll find your voice.
Correct.
You didn't.
I tried. Yeah, especially going on TikTok, I was new because of the company I was at. Like I said, I don't want to talk down, but they dwarfed my growth. When all that time, the amount of energy I put into my Instagram, I could have put into my TikTok 2 years ago. And I didn't, even though they let other people in the company use TikTok because we were growing such a pace, and they were, how we did our cost to cover our ads. They pay it, but they really come from our branch. So they monitored so much of our information that we couldn't push out on TikTok, and we got dwarfed on TikTok. And now I started TikTok this year. I only have like close to 5,000 followers, but I started like 4 months ago, and I'm still figuring out. I tried dancing, it doesn't work. I tried this, it doesn't work. I finally found what works for me is just my humor on how I interpret different things, and you're gonna be hit or miss. Sometimes it might pop on Instagram or TikTok, and it might not. Sometimes it's gonna pop on Instagram.
So you have to experiment.
Correct.
But you are naturally, like you said, you're naturally a funny guy. You can tell you've got a good sense of humor. You like to have fun. So you're just, it's kind of like, I don't know if you know Sean Cahan, the mortgage geek.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when I interviewed him, that's just an extension of his personality. I assume this is the same for you. Yeah.
Correct. I'm kind of if you talk to my wife, she's the one that does all the talking. I'm like the quiet guy. So I feel like when I do go on these reels or Instagram, I get to unleash the humor inside of me that people don't even see when they see me on the outside. It's like, hi.
Let it out. Yeah, at home, out and about, you're just a quiet guy, whatever, but you get to let it loose. That's awesome. Emily Flynn, her biggest challenge is consistency. And when I see that question posed, I'm always curious about your content strategy for production and planning. Do you batch, or like, how do you do that?
So let me give you, I'll go over my schedule with you if you don't mind.
Sure, please.
So Monday morning from 10 to 12, we go over all the reels we saved all weeks, all the TikToks and all reels. So anything that's viral, we put in our Discord. I send the link. I send all the links, and then on Monday, with one person on my team, we go over. Okay, let's look up the sound, how popular it is, who's sharing it, what the audience that's listening to the sound. Because let's say you pick a sound that's viral, but the audience is a bunch of 12-year-olds. I don't want to go with that sound because it's not going to get the audience I want to hit. So we we audit the sounds, the trends, and then we pick the amount that we're going to do. And then with this sound, I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to put this message. And then on Tuesdays, for the same time, for like an hour, 2 hours, we write all the copy, write everything that we're going to talk about. Mm-hmm. And then Wednesday, we film it. So I try to do at least 2 TikTok. I'm trying to do and I'm working on it still, 2 TikToks a day, or post 2 TikToks and 2 reels a day. So whatever I'm posting on TikTok, I'm posting on reels.
Yeah. And that, by the way, Emily has a good second question to that, which is, do you create different videos for Insta or TikTok, or repurposing?
Same. This is the same. This is the strategy. This is the one thing I'm bummed about that I did. I don't want to change my page. My Instagram page is a business page. So on business reels, you only have 30 seconds. On TikTok, you have 15 seconds, a minute, or 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to blend because sometimes you can only squeeze stuff into 30 seconds. So I'm trying my best to do as much as I can in 30 seconds so I don't have to do double the work.
That's interesting. But I thought Instagram was rolling out 60 seconds for all.
It is a minute, but not for business. They want business people to pay.
But what about, really? Wow. What about creator?
Creator, you get a minute.
Creator, get a minute. Okay. So that could be useful for people who ask that question of, what should I have, business, creator, or personal? Clearly you want to have either business or creator for the analytics alone.
And creator, I think you can run ads on creator. You can't, so the creator's account's where to be, but because my account's so old, I don't want to mess with changing from business to creator to lose any data. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so you've obviously got a team, right? I mean, you sound like Gary Vee with your team and all that, and production meetings and all this kind of stuff. How about for the person who maybe doesn't want to, be as big, so to speak, as you are when it comes to a team and production quality and research and all that? What do you tell them?
You can do it yourself. And I'm proving everyone wrong. Not everyone, but a lot of people, where I need a team. So I have another page called Simple Papa, and I'm using that. I'm eventually going to have content courses for loan officers and realtors or social media people. I'm doing that page by myself. So I'm doing it straight up by myself. I do all my recordings. Sometimes I get help with copy, but outside of copy, I do a lot of the recording and editing by myself.
What's it called again?
Simple Papa.
Simple Papa? P-A-P-P-A? Yeah. P-A-P-P-A. All right, I'm looking it up right now. Is that with the big smiley face?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
No, I started that about 2 months ago.
No, that's not your Instagram. Is this Instagram or TikTok?
Instagram. I have it on both.
Simple. I want to do it. Make sure I'm spelling it right. P-A-P-P-A. Simple
P
Papa.
O P O P O P P A.
Oh, okay. That's why I knew this wasn't
Like a grandpapa.
what I thought it was, but I'm just terrible at spelling.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So I got to follow you here as well. Simple Papa, people, check it out. That's the Instagram handle where you are posting a lot of cool stuff about content, things like that. Yeah, it's all video. It's all you, just one-on-one. What's the purpose of this page then? To Enzo's Financial Playbook. What is that all about?
So I'm learning. Like I said, I'm at a different place right now in my content and to understand consumers, if I do more education on finances, not just mortgage, it's easier to grow a bigger audience.
So not to be as narrow just on mortgage, but greater like wealth building, all that kind of like JB.
Correct. And I only talk about long-term investment, long-term. I talk about things that I know because I'm trying to create the right profile of the right consumer. I have 1,000 people now. I already had 2 refinance people reach out to me, 2 index universal life people reach out, a hazard insurance, term insurance. So I'm trying something new where I'm talking about whatever a profile. I want someone who has a 401k or IRA. I want someone who has index funds. And I don't want crypto. I want index funds, ETFs. I want people to think about their taxes. Higher end people to reach out because eventually they'll go, hey, man, I didn't know you do mortgages too. Can you go over the refinance with me?
So once again, you're using a social platform to build an audience. And I'm sure you're already monetizing that audience. You're gonna move them off of that platform, build a database of those people as well.
Correct.
Future customers, and of course, partners, like you said, because you got other financial professionals on there, and they're like, "Hey, why don't we team up or swap databases or whatever happens?" Right?
Yeah, I learned it from watching. Look at Brian Decker. Look at JB Holmes. Brian Decker does crypto. JB Holmes does a lot about index funds as well. He also talks about Airbnbs. They're talking about things to build their audience.
Yeah. So again, this goes back to the thing of like, what do you post? And I know for you guys that are still here hanging out watching, how many people have that? I want to see your interaction. Now's the chance to win a free book. Okay. Put in your question right now. What is your, like, how many of you struggle with what to post? I know somebody already said that earlier. Kenny, you should already have a book from me, Kenny, though. If you don't, let me know. We'll get you one. But this reminds me of, my buddy Sean, who has a YouTube channel, and he recently switched his content from lifestyle. We talked about this earlier. It's like, so you can think about this. Who do you want your audience to be? And where can you reach that audience, and how can you build a platform to engage with them? There you go. That's what you're trying to do. Yes?
Correct.
Okay. Got it. Awesome. What's been the most difficult thing?
The most difficult thing was deciding a CRM and how to manage the quantity of leads that were coming in. We literally, that has been our biggest Achilles, is managing the amount of viewers that are reaching out on a day-to-day basis and segmenting them. Some of them are not going to buy right away. Yeah. So, we were just letting those just build dust until we have someone on our team now who's helping out with texting. Like we text them, they text back. I answer some of the messages. That's how I get a lot of content now, is I'm in the messenger through Facebook, Instagram, emails, text messages. I don't answer them all. I answer let's say 30% to get data, but we engage a lot now. But it took us a while, and that was our hardest thing, was to manage the quantity of people that are reaching out. Some days there was so when I call it a transfer, they engage on the internet, but they're willing to talk to someone on the phone. That's a high number, right? But let's say conversation, we have over 100 conversations a day, but I don't call those transfers because they don't want to talk to someone on the phone. So about half of the people who engage with us want to talk to someone on the phone. The other half does not.
Do they ever talk to somebody on the phone?
Yes, they always do. Everybody on the phone.
Ultimately, somebody's going to be on the phone.
Correct. I think for myself, my platform, we're not at a place yet where it's so automated where they just fill out an app. Every once in a while, if they go, we took our website down because of the company I was at. but people were completing the apps on the website. And it wasn't that many, maybe one a day, one application a day. And because of one application a day, and it wasn't under the company's portal, and if we use their portal, then the whole website has to be part of the company. It's just too many. I think with mortgages, there's a lot of legalities that you have to deal with, not just making content.
Right. Absolutely. Do you ever get on the phone with applicants at this point?
All the time.
You do?
All the time. Right. If they message, I only want to talk to men, I talk to them.
How often does that happen?
Maybe once every other day. They want to talk to me, or after 5 or 6 o'clock when all the LOs aren't around, I'll jump on. So in the daytime, we have a couple LOs and myself. We rotate, and then we assign them. They assign them to whoever's under their team. At nighttime and weekends, we have a concierge that helps out. Sometimes they can't jump in or they don't know the answer. I always jump in, and if I know they want to talk on the phone, then I just jump on the phone call.
Is your team local, like distributed, virtual? What?
Yes, everyone's in California. Our concierge is out of state.
Okay. And you guys typically these meetings or whatever, they happen in person or over Zoom?
Over Zoom. A lot of times they're over Zoom. I'll call if it's Instagram, I'll call them through the Instagram directly, so they know it's actually me and they get all excited.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right. Well, listen, for those that need to learn more, follow Min. You can see it right there at What's a Mortgage. That's his Instagram handle. The YouTube, let's see here. That is What's a Mortgage as well. That's youtube.com/What's a Mortgage. Got 7,000 subs over there. Nothing to scoff at there either, my man.
YouTube, same thing. So with YouTube, they had us take it down. We got to a pay. So YouTube we've had for a year. We were averaging about 100 followers a week, and then they made us take it down as well. That was my main reason of leaving. They made us take down a lot of stuff as they saw things move a certain way. They wanted to dictate it a lot more, so they made us take down like no TikTok. They wanted to read everything and monitor it all before we can even post it. Or if we post it, we'd have to take it down the next day. We had to take that. So we took down almost 150 videos, and it did affect us. And we just started posting again on YouTube a couple months ago.
And I assume you are outsourcing the editing for that?
No, we have it. So now we do everything in-house. So we have our full-time editor, full-time graphic person, a full-time person that does that. They research with me. And then we have someone who that does all our copy.
Oh, wow. Nice. Very good. Yeah. So obviously, once again, you have a team, and a couple of people just joined late. Somebody's asking about, I see your question, Blanca. What's your routine? We already covered that earlier. I apologize. So you can get that in the replay for sure. This will be going up on the page wherever you're watching this as a replay plus on the podcast. So we unfortunately are kind of out of time here. Min, so awesome, man. Thank you for making time. Lots to learn. What's like, dude, you're building your own company is what you're not just an LO. You're a company. What's the vision, baby? What's the vision?
The vision is to get to the consumer first, to push the button. I think mortgages, especially with crypto these days, is going to change. There's going to be people who live in the metaverse, some people who don't. And the goal, I think, in both universes, whoever can get the consumer to push the button first, to trust them to push the button. Because eventually things are going to be so automated. Once they build that trust, they're going to hit a button. Once they hit that button, the loan's going to be done like that. And I feel that is the future. So whoever can get to the person to push the button first. And I'm working on how to get to that person before they're ready to even look for the button to push. And that's why I have my other page, because I'm talking about 401k. Think about, Jeff, if the borrower has a 401k that has a decent amount of money in it, they're a wage earner, and they have money put away, and they have consistent income, and they make good money. For them to have a decent amount of money in their 401k, my goal first was to get to the consumer before the real estate agent, which I'm doing. Next step is how do I get to the loan off? How do I get to the consumer before the loan officer starts getting on social next? So it's always trying to be ahead of where the consumer's looking.
The old Wayne Gretzky, be where the puck is going.
Yeah.
Not where it is. And I love that you said, get to the person before they push the button. Because when I hear that, to me, pushing the button is different versions of that. You're building an audience with those people. You're getting them to opt into your email. You're building your database off the social platforms because who knows, the metaverse could blow up and there's a new one down. But at least you have their contact info database, CRM. Email's not dead. Would you, as a social guy, you would say email's not dead, right?
Oh, if they email you, the lead is a lot. The conversion is a lot higher.
Yeah.
If they email you, like a paragraph, it's a deal. If they email you a paragraph, as long as they don't start their sentence with "I could have bought a home, but," they start with the reason why they haven't bought. When they start talking about this is my scenario and it's a long paragraph, it's a deal. Like all my guys, when they see email, oh, I want it. Everyone, if they see an email, they jump on it. Email, I think, is the best.
Real quick, then, what's your take on text as far as communicating, moving people forward?
Text. What do you mean by text messages?
Back and forth. Yeah.
Oh,
there's your chief video editor.
Yeah, I'll take you in a second. Okay, let me finish. So I have so like I said, out of my bloodline, I call it, I've created a lot of loan officers who were not even loan officers.
Yes.
All my LOs that are doing the highest level of volume live off of text messages. And I created a gang who just live on text messages. So we have a text drip style we use. And like I have a guy, he did 15 million confirmed. You can look up his NMLS, right? 15 million. And he's been doing loans for 4 years. And he's a tech. He just took it another level. He understands human nature, but I say texting beats everything.
Yeah, because it's the most personal, right? And then you have email and all that kind of stuff. But all right, that's good stuff, man. I know you got to jump. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Hope you found this to be valuable. We're going to keep following you on the socials, my man. This was and a James Brown. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Man, once again, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right, everybody. I'll let you get back to your family and your business. We'll talk soon, buddy. Take care.
Hey, Jeff, do you do email messaging or?
Yeah.
You do a lot? Yeah, because I think at Western Express, where I'm at, they're looking for somebody to do all their email drips because I know they switched.
Hey, let me end the broadcast. All right. Hang on. Stay in the room.